Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing another eye tutorial look that I wanted to do. I am going to be using, let me grab it for you guys, two different palettes today. It is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette and then the Morphe 350 palette. With these two palettes, I'm going to be teaching kind of some tips and tricks as I go along on what I've learned in the two master classes that I have taken so far, which was so much. But I hope you guys enjoy it, so let's get to it. So I have basically already gone ahead and done my brows and just the base of my eyes. So what I've kind of learned, a tip, number one basically is you don't have to use eyeshadow base as far as like the urban one that I've been using or whatnot. I have gone ahead and just put a concealer base all over my eye. It's going to give you a really stronger pigment as well, and I've extended it out to here because I really want to make this eye look a lot wider than I normally do. So I'm going to go in and to the first shade and get this rolling. So I've also purchased some new brushes. This is the M514 from Morphe, and I really like this round one. It kind of gives you the flexibility to really just hold it by the end and give it that nice blending technique. So I have a few of my Morphe brushes that I know I showed you guys on my story on what I purchased from Morphe when I was in California. So I'm going to be using those brushes as well today. Okay, so for this look, I want to do kind of like a mauve-y undertone to it. So I'm going to be putting, this is called Next from Jaclyn's Hill palette. And I'm going to be doing that as the base. So as you guys can see, as I'm literally applying this, with this brush, it's literally so smooth as far as rounding this completely out. Okay, so now that I have my base to my look applied, I'm going to be going in with a little bit darker browns. And actually I'm going to quickly also as well go in with the color Crazy from the Jaclyn Hill palette, which is a little bit darker of a red, just to give it a little bit of a depth. Okay, so I have that applied, and now I'm going to go in with some of my browns. So this is the Morphe 350 palette that I'm using. And I'm actually going to take my M441 by Morphe as well, and I'm gonna just deepen this up. You don't need to start with a lot of product. Building product up is really what's gonna help you guys here. So I always like to start small, and then I could always add on after. Okay, so this is the look with the deeper brown that I had added to it. I'm going to go ahead and now start the intersection of the corner and then see how everything comes together and then work my way back out to the end corners if I want to make it darker, deeper, and go from there. But I want to see how it looks first with the inner corner aligned. So for this, I am actually going to try out the Louise base, which I've heard you have to work fast with this. This is blank canvas, number 1. So I'm going to go and apply that. And I have here, I'm going to use the M224 by Morphe to apply that. So I'm going to start off with a little bit because, like I said, I heard a lot goes a long way. Now that I've gone ahead and applied blank canvas, I let that dry a little bit, and I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury that I purchased. Jean, the color is. And we're going to apply that as well. The best way to really get a full coverage for this is to use your finger. So I'm going to go in and kind of just pat on here to really set this in. That way you get a nice bold look. Sometimes with a brush, you can't always go in and get that vivid look. Okay, so now that I have those two on, I'm gonna now go back in and apply my Super Shock Shadow Ladybird, sorry guys. Just to give it the finishing look that I'm looking for. So as you guys can see, I've applied that. Now I'm going to go in and just kind of blend everything together. This is completely empty brush, and this is my M433 blender brush. So now I'm just going to kind of go in and blend. Okay. So I do want this look to be a little bit more deeper, so I'm actually going to be adding a deeper brown into the look, just to deepen up these corners. Alright, so here is basically the look. I'm also going to now go in with nylon from MAC to put underneath of my brow area. Next, I'm going to be using Better Than Sex from Too Faced liner. Just to give the depth in these corners. I'm not going to be doing a full wing look, just a little bit. the eyes are basically finished, and I'm going to move on to my face. So one of the next things I'm going to be doing is going to be a tip by Makeup by Mario. He likes to use moisturizers that have a lot of emollient in it. That way it kind of gives it a really dewy look. So I'm going to apply moisturizer before I throw on my foundation today. I'm going to be using my Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. This is shade 31NN. Okay, now that my base is perfected, I'm going to go in and use my concealer, which you guys already know. Tarte Shape Tape is my #1 go-to for myself. Now for this, I'm going to be using M166 from Morphe as well. Applying things with a brush and then blending it out afterwards, I've heard is better. So I'm going to really keep it in here. Now I'm just going to go in and really blend this as well and go right into the skin. So concealer is all done, and I'm gonna do a little bit of contouring just to get a little depth as well into the cheek area. Now I'm just buffing this out so it all blends in, and I could basically go in and apply my bronzer, sorry. Now the one thing you want to be careful when you are contouring here is to make sure that you don't go too dark underneath here, because then you can kind of have a 5 o'clock shadow. You don't want it to look like that. So now that I've gone and kind of just buffed this out a little bit, I'm going to be applying my bronzer. I am using the M581 with Anastasia bronzer in Saddle here to go in. I really like this brush because it targets the areas that you want to really give it that nice contour look when applying it. Now what I just did here is something I learned as well as far as contouring trick. So if you go in, now they recommended having more of a wedge, which I don't have any right now. I'm going to be picking some up. So I'm just doing it with my beauty blender and going in with my Anastasia contour palette in the lighter shades on top for highlighter. So kind of just put it here and dragged it down for a line, so it really gives me that in-depth contour look. And now I'm going to go on the top area and same thing, kind of just swipe it this way. So also I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Velvetizer, which is their translucent powder, and just going to go over these areas at the bottom, only because I have dry skin. So for myself, I don't feel like baking all around would be necessarily for me. I have dry skin and I don't like the way that it looks afterwards. So I only set in the spots that I feel like I need to set. And there you have it. I'm just gonna go in with blush now. This is It Cosmetics Magical in Mauve, which is my favorite go-to blush that I'm going to be applying. Now for this, I always make the client smile or myself smile because you don't want to go into your jowl lines here. It's just going to drag you down. So you always want to put it on the balls of your cheeks when you smile and apply up. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in with brush M152. Now that I have everything basically already done, I'm going to go in and do a little bit of color underneath to pop it out. Now you do not need to do this for every single guest. Some clients don't look good with this. I feel like you really need to study the face and shape and see what's best for the guest. Okay. All right, guys. So I have gone and applied underneath my eyes, which I feel like totally brought the eye look out a lot more. And I'm not going to apply lashes today. I'm not an everyday lash wearer for myself. I like to pair it if I'm going to an event or something, and I really want it to stand out. But for something that I'm just going to be walking around during the day, I don't apply lashes on an everyday basis. So I'm going to be applying mascara for myself today. And I will show you guys which ones that I use as far as mascaras. So I really like to always brush my lashes out. Okay, so pairing mascaras is actually my favorite thing to do. I'm going to first be going in with the Lancome primer, which helps stretch. It's their booster. It helps stretch your eyelashes out to give it a lot more length and volume to them. So as you can see, if there's a white that you're seeing being applied to my lashes, that is what the booster is, and it helps stretches out your own as well as conditioning them. Now I'm going to go in with Definicils from Lancome as well, which is my absolute favorite mascara. I feel like I'm the type of mascara girl who I like to have more length and volume, where like my individual lashes are grabbed and built. I don't like clumpy or stuck together. I like where you can see each lash. So last but not least, I'm going to be using my Grande mascara, which I've actually never used this one before, but I've been hearing great things about. So I'm going to head and try this one today. I personally like it. So hopefully this works out well, and I will let you guys know how I like this one over time. So the last thing I'm going to be doing is dipping in to my Jaclyn Hill highlighter. I want to be using this also for my inner corner of my eye. So I like to wet the brush with Fix Plus. I feel like it brings out the color more when the pigment, if it's wet. So I'm going to be applying this right into the dabs of my eyes here. And same thing on the other side. The pigment off Jaclyn Hill's loose highlighters is just beyond me, guys. I swear. It's so good. You all have to definitely go out and try these. They have like 5 colors, I believe, but they're really well used. Now I'm actually going to be using my Becca Champagne Pop collab with Jaclyn Hill as well for my bronzer. For my highlight, sorry, on my cheeks, which I'm going to be applying with Jaclyn Hill's brush. If you guys do not have this brush, I feel like you definitely need it in your collection of brushes. It really helps build the pigment when you are applying your highlighter for sure. And it lasts all day, which I absolutely love, guys. Okay, so basically I am done for this look. Let's go ahead and spray. I'm using the MAC 6 Plus. And because I have such a heavy eye, I'm just going to keep my lips super simple today. I'm going to go in with my Bare Minerals Freestyle. I'm going to throw on Bare Bling from MAC. And then just top it with my So Juicy Plumping Gloss from ColourPop, which is in the shade Cutie. So this was my look for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed it and the step-by-step that I've been doing rather than just applying and putting music to the background. I kind of like the step-by-step. It's more personal for you guys to really learn. And if you have any questions, comment down below and we can walk you through them. And I have no problem maybe answering a Q&A on another video. So I hope you guys enjoy this look. See you next time.